Hey guys, Lurr here, and for today's video I want to talk about 5 characters that I believe personally fell off competitively in Smash Ultimate. So what I mean by this is that for one reason or another, there are less people playing that character and or the results in general have just gone down. Reminder that if you like the video to drop a like on it, and if you enjoy my channel to subscribe if you haven't yet. But anyways, let's get into the video. First up we have Inkling. This is a character that at the beginning of Ultimate's life, many thought was insanely overpowered. The main reason for this is Inkling's highly evasive initial dash that gives them the ability to easily low profile under a lot of attacks including projectiles and grabs. Inkling has a very basic combo game allowing them to get a solid amount of damage from a single grab and is able to even get kills that way, which is their most reliable way to take stocks. Another option that gave them a solid opportunity to take stocks was their roller, which buries the opponent and allows Inkling to get a follow-up. The problem with Inkling is that as time passed, players' combo games became more efficient and the damage that Inkling was able to do ended up not being as much compared to other characters. The other problem with Inkling is their most reliable kill confirm was heavily percent dependent, which meant if you were unable to get a grab at a specific percent, you were probably going to have an incredibly difficult time closing out stocks. Their roller, which was another solid option for them getting kills, became significantly worse because players developed more counterplay around it, making it harder for Inkling to reliably land the move. Overall, Inkling is a character that thrived in the early days of Ultimate due to lack of matchup knowledge and having one of the easier metas to develop, but as the game progressed, Inkling's gameplay became stagnant. Lucina, in my opinion, is the most interesting character on this list. Unlike the others, she didn't fall off because she became a worse character, though she did receive a nerf in the beginning of the game's life. And it's not because the character got quote-unquote figured out, because she's one of the most straightforward characters in the game that honestly, any fundamentally sound player can pick up and get results with due to her having a pretty solid matchup chart and doing incredibly well against most, if not all of the relevant characters in the meta today. So then if it's not that the character is significantly worse or got figured out, why exactly do less players use Lucina? The simple answer is that she's just boring to play compared to the other characters. She doesn't have any crazy comeback factor, she doesn't have a crazy combo game or kill power, and she doesn't have some sort of mechanic that dramatically forces the opponent to have to change the way they play. She's just an all-around good character and people for the most part want some unique strength that she doesn't have. Due to this, you just see a lot less players actively using Lucina. Pichu is a very sad case of a character falling off in my opinion. There are 2 major reasons why Pichu is significantly worse today than he was at the beginning of Ultimate's life. The first one is, like Inkling, Pichu's meta developed faster than most characters, and people just didn't know the matchup as well as they should. This allowed Pichu to be getting a lot of high damaging combos through gimmicks, as well as closing out stocks in situations that could be easily avoided. The second reason Pichu was better at the beginning of Ultimate was because Pichu was actually a better character. Patch 3.1.0 gave Pichu a massive nerf that not only weakened some of his strengths, but also made some of his weaknesses even worse. The sad thing about this patch is that even before Pichu got nerfed, players started figuring out the character and he had gotten worse in the meta without a patch being needed. If you're interested and want to hear more about Pichu's decline, I made a video that you can check out that I will have linked in the description. Zero Suit Samus was a very strong character at the beginning of Ultimate, and honestly I still think she's a really good character now, but definitely more difficult to use in the current meta. Throughout Ultimate's life, Zero Suit Samus was hit with quite a bit of nerfs, but fortunately for her, they didn't happen all at once like the Pichu nerf. Zero Suit Samus got nerfed in 5 different patch updates, with the final 2 nerfs actually hurting her more than you would expect. They nerfed her neutral air, giving her 2 more frames of landing lag. What this did was make her pressure noticeably worse, and also make one of her most reliable ways of confirming into kills more difficult to pull off. The second nerf they did was to her boost kick, which is her fastest out of shield option, and also one of her best kill moves. They made it have 2 more frames of startup before the hitbox is active, making it a worse out of shield option, and allowing more characters to reliably pressure her. So basically the nerfs to Zero Suit Samus not only makes her pressure less threatening, but also allows players to more easily pressure her, which results in the character struggling more than she normally would previously, which is also reflected in her results and just less people using her. Chrom is an interesting character because I feel like his decline happened a bit slower than the other characters on this list. Chrom, in my opinion, is actually a really solid character that is incredibly straightforward and has a lot of fantastic strengths. One of his most notable strengths being how absurdly good his jab is. In my opinion, Chrom has the best jab in the entire game because of everything he can do out of it. The major factor that resulted in Chrome's downfall is his recovery. He has one of the most exploitable recoveries in the entire game. In the beginning of the game's life, the vast majority of players were incredibly bad at edgeguarding, which resulted in Chrom surviving in situations where he could easily be edgeguarded. Not only that, but players who attempted to edgeguard Chrom and failed would get reversaled, and thanks to Chrom's up special would lose their stock as low as 0%. So basically, Chrom players were not only getting away with not getting edgeguarded, but easily killing their opponents from attempting to do it. As the game's life continued, players began to become more efficient at edgeguarding, and the situations where Chrom would get away with recovering were becoming less frequent. To make matters worse, for Chrom, a lot of DLC characters made it noticeably easier for players to edgeguard him in a significantly less committal way. It also didn't help that a lot of characters that were becoming relevant in the meta had an easier time edgeguarding Chrom as well. Additionally, Chrom is an Echo Fighter, and so instead of playing Chrom, you can just play Roy, who has a near identical moveset with more kill power and a better recovery. So the reason Chrom fell off competitively is that Chrom's biggest flaw became a lot easier for players to exploit as they got better. On top of this, the characters who have an easier time exploiting this flaw were being used more frequently, and Roy, who plays similarly to Chrom, has better strengths and a less exploitable flaw. And that is it for the video. Let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree with the list, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the content. But yeah, that's it for the video. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.